Okay, morning, folks. Welcome to the briefing on the 1st of October. An interesting weather pattern developing. It's that time of year where you get the sort of the air mass mixing in the North Atlantic with the cold air to the north and the warmer air coming up from the south, and it starts to develop low pressure systems, and some of them can be quite intense. So we're seeing those, one developing there, another one here, and this is the one that's going to be interesting to us in the next day or so as to where it tracks. But today we're just in the sort of gap between the fronts that went through very, very quickly last night, but had a lot of rain on them, and now a westerly airflow. Low pressure, 1008. It's a sort of unstable air mass and a little bit of a showery air mass, but fingers crossed it won't be at the stage where we're going to see too many showers, if any at all. Really, I think they may be confined to the west of England and Wales. Spacing on the isobars reasonably tight, so breezy today. Forecast 15 gusting 25 a little bit later, and 25 knots of flying heights, as you'll see. So Tafts, Farnborough, they're giving sort of 239 knots. It's more westerly at the moment, more like about 250, 260 at the moment on the ground. And then they're saying between sort of 12 and 4 this afternoon, 15 gusting 25. And the chance of the showers and rain, I think, will be very, very isolated as its tempo. So I think it sort of matches up with what we've actually got, but perhaps not quite the right wind direction. Gatwick are saying 240, and Heathrow, I think, were 250. So that's more like it. Upper winds, yeah, because you saw those isobars, they're pretty much running across the country from east to west. So upper winds are 270, so they're westerly, essentially, but 25 to 30 knots, so fairly breezy. Good wave forecast across here, sort of constant height, wind steadily increasing with height. But you can see where the sort of the main jet stream is actually lying to the north of us, 105 knots at 25,000 feet. So pretty windy through the sort of Wales and the sort of middle half of the country. Okay, sat pick. Just watching this stuff here. It's mid-level cloud. You can just see a thin layer of cloud coming across us, and you can see how it tracks. Give you an idea where the upper wind actually is. It is west, with maybe even a small tuss at the moment. There are showers dotted around in here, the slightly bright white bits. As you can see, they're there. I think we're going to be unlucky if we catch one. We might see one, but normally what happens with these as they get closer towards us, they just fizzle out. So fingers crossed that will happen. Temperature wise, it's not going to feel warm out there today. It really will feel like autumn. They're saying 16, 17 degrees. Yeah, probably in the shelter of out of the wind, it will feel about that. That sort of 15 knots on the ground will take the edge off things. Dew points quite high at the moment, and I think they will stay around sort of sixes, probably in here. So chance of soaring today? Yeah, I think so. Looking at that's still loading. Can't seem to get anything out of that. We'll go straight to top meteo. They're forecasting by sort of 10 o'clock seeing some cumulus. I think it'll be later than that. You've got sort of upper cloud cutting off the sun for a bit, but areas have spread out throughout the day, and then looks like it's forecast to break up a bit more in the afternoon and be quite a nice couple of hours in the afternoon, sort of between 1 and 3. There's some soaring. By that time, by sort of lunchtime-ish, 3,000 feet, 1,000 meters, and then perhaps 1,400 meters, 4,000 feet in the afternoon, as Farnborough was suggesting, scattered at 4,000 feet. Sky sight giving a similar sort of picture in terms of cloud base by 12 o'clock, just over 1,000 meters. And then by the afternoon, 1,300 meters above the ground. So, we should hopefully get something out of it, a few hours of soaring, but fairly strong winds, folks. So, a bit restricted on the cross-country distance. Top Meteo was suggesting better to the east, I think was their potential flight distance. Skysight saying 200k, but okay out to the west. Top Meteo was completely clear here, was suggesting it wasn't going to be any good this way. So they always differ slightly. Maybe okay, but certainly good for some soaring in the afternoon. Okie doke. Airspace and how we're going to operate. Still getting my head around how wet the airfield might be. I think it should be okay for a fairly normal operation. Airspace wise, reasonably quiet. Locally to us, middle wallop of NOTAM winch launching, and the only other one of interest is parachuting at South Cerney. Basically, it's 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. So they've NOTAM'd today and then tomorrow, and then I think 8 other days throughout October. So just one to note, but apart from that, reasonably clear in this area here. Operationally, we're going to go on 2.7, and we're going to have a fairly normal setup with gliders on the south side grass. Cables will probably come down the south side with the winch slightly offset to the south, and then we'll just sort of deal with any crosswind that we get and work it out from there, really. Grass should be all right. I walked on a bit of it. The ground's been so dry for so long, it's just soaked up all the rain we had last night. There shouldn't be any squidgy bits. So absolutely perfect to land on. And that's about it, folks. Just remember the strong winds. Don't get caught out. Okay, we'll see you out there.